Well, that was no fun. But Barbara just took it out for a ride, and I'm curious to see what she thinks.
Definitely a difference.
There is a difference, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
More beefier.
Yeah.
When I'm doing like a quick turn.
Yeah.
And it handles more like it's sportier, not as floaty.
Less, yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
Like it floated before. So now it's more like when I put my car in sport mode and it grips to the ground.
Yep.
When I'm driving aggressively.
So it's a tighter suspension.
It's a tighter suspension. I noticed it right away when I was coming down the road and I was just going back and forth because I like to try to flip it.
Yeah. Don't do that. Wow, you know, that is a pretty strong statement because Barbara does not fake anything. She won't go like, oh my God, it's so much better if it's not. So I think that's a pretty good testament for the BajaRon bar. All right, I'm gonna go drive this thing.
He's like totally making me nervous. My poor bike is like way up in the air. I don't like it. Don't like it one bit. I think I'm gonna go in the house. Please, please don't. That's enough.
Well, boy, this sucker's up in the air, huh?
Yeah, no more.
Yeah.
No.
Is it high enough?
Yes, it's high enough.
I don't know, we gotta measure. Oh, we got a long way to go. We may have to bring it to the dealership or get those ramps. Shoot. You want to pull it up? Alright, so we're centered under the bike and the instructions say to remove these push pins, which looks like you just kind of pop them loose here, here, and here.
You got it.
Pins in the screw right in there. And we also have 2 push pins here on this rear panel which need to come out, so I'm going to pry those out. Swing down out of the way. There we go. Alright, so now we have access to that. We've also got push pins here and here on this side, and then we've just got another bolt here. Alright, so looking from front to back, we've taken the 2 panels off here and we've lowered the back panel on the left-hand side of the bike. And so now we have these bushings that are holding the sway bar in place. There's Barbara's Gremlin bell hanging on the sway bar. So these bushings, there's one here and there's one here. These need to come out, and there's a bolt that you access on the front here and here. All right, so we're just going to put a 10 millimeter on the back, and then we can push the metal on this side. And then we'll just repeat the operation on the other side. All right, now the instructions say that these bushings will not be used with the new sway bar. So there must be new bushings in with the new sway bar. So it looks like we now have to remove these bolts here. There's one here and there's one on this side also. And the paperwork refers to it as a cannel bolt, and apparently they're also 10 millimeter. So we're going to pull these out. Here and here. The mount, right there, yeah. All right, so the instructions say to remove the end links, whatever that is. And I got to tell you, I'm not very happy with the instruction because it doesn't really show. But I'm assuming that, you know, the sway bar connects to these links, and I'm assuming this is the end link because it's at the top of the link. And so that would mean the end. I guess that would be the middle maybe, but anyway, I'm going to remove these two. It says to use two 13mm wrenches because you can't get a socket up in there, but all I have is a 113mm and a pair of vice grips, so I'm going to have to do it that way. So we're going to do that on both sides. We've got the upper end link off of there, and hopefully that'll just come out, and this is now loose. So we'll do it on the other side now. All right, so now the bar is loose in here, and we should be able to pull these bushings out, which we're not going to use anymore. And it says that we could just pull this out. Oh boy.
What?
Now the ramp is in the way. This is the story of my life, folks. You pull it out. I'm trying to pull it out, so you got to go this way, and you pull it all the way over the end, and of course it's hitting right here on the ramp. And then I go the other way, and it's doing the same thing. I mean, it's literally like a ½ inch off. Oh, Lord help me. All right, so basically we're just gonna put the bar in here, just do the opposite of what we did before, and then the new bar slides into place. And it is basically going to go into the same position that we had before, up into this little bracket up in here is where well, that's where the linkage mounts. You're going to put this little guy in here like this, and then this linkage arm, and then somehow I have to get okay, before we attach the bar to the brackets, we have to put the bushings in place. And so you just stick it up in there, make it sound so easy, I'm sure, because it's not. And by the way, the bushing goes between the bend and that pinch, they call it, and it just slips in. And then we'll do the other side just the same. There we go. Okay, so something I need to point out here that is important is when you put the bushing bolts in, believe it or not, this piece here, I don't know what you would call that, but these two pieces are not bolted together, and this can shift. I've got it cinched up on the other side, but this was shifting left to right, and it wasn't allowing me to push the bolt through this way. So, and I couldn't figure out why that was. To me, it looked like these were welded together and it would never come apart, but that's not true. The bushing bolt and the this cross member bolt that goes through here actually holds this in place. And they don't explain that in the instructions. So all I had to do was like shift it or bang it or whatever to get it in there. So you need to know that. So now all I got to do is tighten up this bushing bolt, and I'm going to stick this other cross member bolt in place here. That's what I'm going to call it. But this bolt goes through into this bracket. I hope you guys can see that up here. I got none of that on video.
Actually, the video's running.
Yes, I know, Barbara. It wasn't aiming in the right direction. it's just a comedy of errors. Okay, if you keep moving it while I'm recording, it doesn't do me any good.
I know, but I can't see anything.
Well, you can't, but I can. We are in the home stretch, baby. I can't believe you've been out here the whole time.
I like going on a road trip. I don't.
Just a lot more cussing.
I don't sleep. So you're working on my bike. I gotta make sure I'm awake. Supervise it.
Okay, those are all on there correctly. That's all on there correctly.
What happened to your light?
Huh? The battery probably died. Look on the windowsill. There could be a battery on a charger. And just like that, we have lost light. So I'm just going to put these trim pieces on and then we'll call it a day. How's that sound? Sounds good? Good deal. Well, that was no fun. But Barbara just took it out for a ride, and I'm curious to see what she thinks.
That's really a difference.
There is a difference, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, it's more beefier
Yeah.
when I'm doing like a quick turn.
Yeah. So I just got back from a ride on it, and man, she is right. It is a huge difference. There's a lot less body roll. So when you're on a turn, you don't get a whole lot of the being pitched left to right. It's super stable. It feels like it's just stuck to the ground. Now let's get it out on the road and see what it does. Okay, I'm recording now. Well, we got an opportunity to finally get out for a full road test of Barbara's 2021 Spyder RT Limited and to get some video. So we'll use this opportunity to give you a better explanation of the ride improvements we experienced and hopefully tell you a little bit about how a sway bar works.
Thanks, honey. My first test, I got the bike up around 65 miles an hour on our local highway, and I practiced a few passing maneuvers shifting from lane to lane. Now I have taken the Can-Am on several road trips, and frankly, I did not feel that the handling was bad or it needed improvement. But we read about this upgraded sway bar on the Can-Am forum, and I'm really glad that you put this thing on it because it really does make a huge difference. Practicing the lane changes, I was surprised to feel how the bike stayed level going from left to right and back again, and I started to realize how much the bike used to tilt when I was doing the same thing before. It really is a game changer, and I think I'll be even more confident at those high highway speeds now.
Right. Yep, I felt the same exact way when I took it for that ride around the neighborhood, and I felt it instantly.
Well, the same for all the low speed stuff too that we did through the neighborhood. Just felt really stable and more in control as opposed to predicting the tilt of the bike and preparing for it. It's weird because I figured for such a premium level bike, this thing would have the best of everything. But I'll tell you what, that BajaRon bar is definitely an upgrade. I love it.
For sure, yep. So I'm wondering why it is such an improvement.
Well, I was looking at the bar while you were working on the bike, and it really is a lot beefier than the stock bar, and the linkage is much better, and I think that translates into higher torsion, keeping both the suspension arms more level. Why don't you put some links below and let the people do the research on their own?
That's a good idea. By the way, how do you know so much about cars and linkage and stuff like that?
I used to work for Ford.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think I'll do that, and I'll put a link down below to the La Monster Garage website where we bought it so everyone else can get one.
Good idea.
All right, well, I think that's going to be a wrap, guys. Thanks for watching our video. 2 Indians. We're out of here.